press click the thing that says got it, and then that should clear out of your way. And then I will spotlight my video, so I should be the only one you see for the most part. And let's get to it. So today we are going to start standing and doing standing meditation. If you'd rather, of course, you could start sitting and then doing a standing. So in Qigong and Tai Chi practice, standing meditation is a thing, something you do. And the goal of it, let me mute everybody, is to put the work of keeping your body upright. Janet, I see you waving. You're muted. I don't know if you're waving to ask a question. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Janet Cohn. I won't be able to hear you, but I see you waving.
You seem not as loud as usual.
Is that true for everybody? If I don't seem very loud right now, put your thumb up. Can everyone hear me? Janet, you probably need to turn the volume up on your computer.
Okay. Do you know how I do that?
There's a volume. I don't know what computer you have, but for mine, it's at the top row of all the keys, or the keys on the keyboard, and something that looks like a what do you call it? Like a bullhorn or something, or a speaker, and you tap, 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 and get louder. So, and maybe check in with someone who knows your computer in your space. But yeah, you got to keep your volume up. So anyway, let's get to standing meditation. So the goal here is, again, we have the option, and usually what people do, especially if you feel less comfortable with balance, is we grab on in different places. Common places we grab on are chest and shoulders. In our jaw, we will often grab on because sort of like a fear. So just notice as you're standing in standing meditation, can you allow the liquid nature of your body to keep you upright? So I'll exaggerate what locking the body up would look like. We would maybe lock our knees back, as you see I'm doing here. What that does is it kind of pokes the tail out. We then kind of jam into this lower back area. And so that's how a lot of people stand. They lock and they jam, and then they also will like sit off into one hip and get caught in that hip, and get caught in this other hip, and just kind of rest on the joints and tendons and ligaments that way, rather than what we want to do is find the middle, let the knees be soft and open. And because the knees are soft and open, they may have a small bend in them. It may not feel like a bend, it may feel like a bend, but the idea is that they're open, they're loose, they're free, rather than jammed all the way back or forced into a bend. So find that. And then also in the chest and shoulder area, there's a tendency for grabbing on and holding. And so in the terminology of Qi, when you stand and you release those places where you're grabbing, you're putting the workload onto the Qi of the body. So it's that hydraulic sort of buoyancy that is now being put under some strain, some workload. And the more we do that, the more that part of our body becomes strong, robust. And then we can feel more buoyant when we're standing around, rather than gripped and held and exhausted, right? So let's just take a few more moments here in standing meditation. And by now you may remember some of the things we do, where we tip into the front of the feet, tip into the back of the feet. We can just gently ease over to the right leg, and the left leg becomes empty. We can ease over to the left leg. So all of this is standing meditation. So it doesn't mean we're standing still, rigid still. It means we're just kind of easy, casually standing. Also, tendency here is the head and neck. You can let it roll to one side or down in front or over to the other side, and just kind of exist standing in place for another 45 seconds. Often we'll find our hands and arms are grabbing and gripping. Like a lot of times people hold their arms something like this. So shake them loose. Standing meditation is just standing and intending to try to be easy, be loose, free. Let your body breathe naturally. Maybe pay attention to inhale through nostrils, exhale out the mouth, or to the nose if it feels good, but usually mouth exhale feels really nice. Notice if you're watching me rather than looking inward, which either is fine, but you'll see I'm doing this kind of fill this leg, empty this leg, shake this one loose, chain, loosen through this one. Got your chair there just in case. Really just casual, light. Last 30 seconds or so. All right, now remember your squat, your Tai Chi squat. So I'll turn sideways so you can see the angles. The butt goes back. That is effortless. I just did that very effortlessly. Sinking the butt, letting the arms be very loose, and just go as low as feels good. And then push through the earth, rise back to standing. So some of you, when you do your squat, it might look just like this. That's all, right? And then back up. The key wrong thing to notice if you're doing it is pushing your knees forward. That pisses off the knees. The butt going back and staying back and sinking will bend the knees in such a way that they're very happy. They're open. So make sure that you're paying attention to that quality. If you're going too low, you might be doing it by pushing your knees forward. So don't do that, please. Last one of those where we just sink, the butt back, the arms are dangling, and push through the earth, and rise. Now we do this Qigong method called Sink Qi Wash Organs, which is what we just did is the last part of it. So here's the first part. Rock to your toes and let your hands swing forward a little. Rock to your heels, your hands swing back. Let's do that part again. This is just the opening little bit. Rock and they go forward. Rock and they come back. Do that twice more. Rock forward. Rock back. Feeling the looseness of your shoulders, right? Rock back. Now the next time you rock back, stay back and your arms opening out to the sides around chest height, maybe lower based on how your shoulders feel. It's fine. Then rock to your toes, right? When you go to your toes, the hands sweep around out in front, palms turn to face the sky. Loose, relax. Rock to your heels, the hands come back past the mouth. They come down the middle to the belly. Then that Tai Chi squat, which is The butt goes back, and as the butt sinks, the arms just softly lengthen. Push through the earth, come back all the way to the middle. Rock forward a little, the hands swing forward. Rock back, the hands swing back and out and up. Rock forward, the hands sweep around and reach into the distance. Rock back, the hands come back past the mouth. Rock to the middle of your feet, your hands come to the middle. They just come down like that. And then the butt goes back, and as you sit for a gentle squat, your arms lengthen straight. So this is just a basic loosening of all the pivots and joints. Rock back into the heels, the arms swing back and up. Rock forward, the hands sweep around and reach into the distance, palms face up. Rock back, the hands come past the mouth. Rock to the middle, the hands come down to belly button height, Tai Chi squat. Butt goes back, and just let everything soften, lengthen. Push through the earth, rise back to standing. Rock forward a little, swing. Rock back, swing back and up. Rock forward, sweep around. Rock back, the hands come back past the mouth. Rock to the middle, they come to the middle. And then the butt goes back softly, lengthen. Stand tall. Let's do that one final time. Eventually this thing flows really nicely. Rock forward, rock back. Rock forward, rock back. Rock middle, and squat. All right. Shogun, or closing gesture. Hands come up over the top and just settle, settle, settle to your middle. Now this next one's called left, right, yin yang. So it's about separating left and right, empty and full, up and down. So weight goes through your right leg. As it does, soften and reach the right arm longer as the left hand just floats up very gently. And then everything will switch, kind of in one slow melting maneuver. The weight goes through the left leg, the left hand softens and reaches long and down. The right wrist, look how loose it is when it comes up. And then it stays that loose as you extend through fingertips, and this wrist comes up loose. Loose, right? I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my hand doesn't go very far from my body, right? I'm not reaching it out here. It's just floating up right next to me, right in this little space here. Change the weight to the left. Change the weight to the right. And find or feel how we're inducing this internal mechanism that's a combination of the legs and hips and the lumbar spine up through maybe the middle back area generally. So that's that mechanism that changes left to right. It also rotates. It's this kind of middle fulcrum. Letting the weight go through the one leg, the other leg empties. Then you change, the other leg empties. Do so with softness and ease. Softness and ease. Now, pause here where you have left hand high, right hand low. You're going to reach left hand forward over the top of a circle as the right hand comes under and behind you. So it looks like that. And then the right hand comes up the back, left hand down the front, and we just let that circle, just ride that circle. The important sort of little tricky thing here is the hand that comes up comes under the armpit, like you're about to tickle your own armpit here, and comes out. So that's the path it takes, up under your own armpit and then out. Now, add to that As the hand is going down, you go through that leg. And then the other hand down. It's called left, right, wheel. 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 Finding that mechanism, that internal fulcrum pivot that's around this combination of hips and lower back, where the change of weight happens. Reverse the wheel. So the top hand comes under the armpit, bottom hand comes up the front. Circle. Circle. So where people get in trouble is when they're coming up, like Ilana, I see you taking your arms straight like this and you're running into something. Look at what I do. Under the armpit and then behind. So it's under, under. Right? You see the hand as it goes under, under. Changing weight each time. Change, 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 change. These movements can be done very loose. And finish. Both hands down. Shogun. Settle. Now let the arms hang by your side. Like two pendulums, one swings forward and slightly up. The other swings back and slightly up. So they're alternating each other. Okay? Now the next time you have your left hand back, pause there, put the weight in your right leg. Left leg is empty. So now as you swing the arms, change the leg. Change. 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 So we're taking the body that's often in a congealed, gripped, stuck state, and we're separating it in directions away from each other. Up and down, left and right. This one's front and back with a slight little pivot turn at the middle. And you can do them all loose. That's the main point, is that this can be done with softness, ease, casual, and pause. And then the one that goes with this one, left hand touches right hip, opposite hip. The hand that comes around the back, use the back of the hand onto somewhere around the back, could be the opposite buttock or not, and then switch. And switch. Switch. Now let that loose quality in the hands start to just gently turn you, rotate you. So all the little moving parts in your body are just gently, loosely separated, right? If something hurts, take the edge off, because you could do it as small as this, right? And I'm still getting a little bit of a turn in the body. Some of you might feel looser someday where you can really let those arms swing. And back to middle. And then to add to this one, we shift our weight to the front of the feet and the heels are a little light, and then lift and lower the heels, sort of like a bounce. A bounce, and let everything be so loose that it kind of loosely, buoyantly bounces. Loose. All right. Then come to a pause. Now look at my legs. I let them come a little in, out, in, out. So that's adduct, abduct. And then do that in a sort of shaking, loose way, right? So I'll come a little closer so you can see. Shake like that. So that loosens up junk that gets stuck in this whole region. So it's in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, loose, loose. Okay. And then lastly here, one heel comes up, and then as it goes down, the other comes up, and you repeat that kind of quickly, almost like you're like running in place, and then you can do it so small where the heel just comes a little bit off the ground and you get a little tailbone shake, right? So it's kind of shakes your butt cheeks. Wrists, ragdoll. Forearms, turning. And shogun. All right, so that's a little preparatory qigong set. Some of that's familiar, some maybe you just did for the first time, but that loosens up the deep intrinsic spaces where we're usually grabbing on and holding, so that when we go for our walking, we're not creating top heaviness, right? We want to be loose so that we're actually connected to our root. All right, so now move closer to the chair that's on your right side. Fingertips touching it. Maybe you don't need it for this first exercise, but it's there. You know it's there. Now, body weight shift into your right leg. Empty left foot, heel lifts off the ground, get to the tippy toes. Option to lift the knee up. And as you do that, you got the chair there. You bring that knee up, and then the key bit is set the foot down empty. Change the weight. Now the other foot is empty. Heel off the ground, get to the tippity tips of the toes. Once you're on the tippy toes, lift, right? You got the chair on either side you can work with. And then the key is keep this uprightness as you lower the leg. Keep it empty as you land it on the ground. Then change the weight. So we want to get this empty leg lift, empty leg lower, because that's usually where people lose the attention, and then change. So again, it's coming up empty, but as it goes down, sometimes we fall with it. So keep a nice length as the leg just softens long to the floor. Then change. Last one each. And notice that this skill is primary for stepping up on stairs, stepping over a curb, stepping over obstacles, anything that's in your way. All right, now we're staying on this right side. Take right leg and put the heel out in front. And I'll turn sideways so you can see that relationship. Notice I'm not way out here. Someday you can step this long, but for our purposes today, just keep it right in front, very close. And then just pour the weight into that front foot. Keep the back toes touching the ground, but see how loose my ankle is. Try to get that emptiness. And then rock back. Same idea, heel stays on the ground, but empty. And then rock, empty, rock back, empty. Got your chairs there if you need it. And this idea of a rocking chair is important because rocking chairs rock forward and back without any effort. They're just, by the way that they're built, that sort of bottom of a wheel quality, and our feet are like that. We have that quality of a wheel. So see if you can get that quality of just roll, roll, the roundness. Last one. So this is level 1. Now level 2, again, you might need hand on chair for this. Front leg is empty. Lift it from emptying this hip. Lower the heel back down, shift. Back foot, once it's truly empty, then it's just a bend to the knee, heel comes to the butt. Put the toe down, shift back. Lift, lower, shift. Remember, you have a nice full espresso cup sitting on top of your head, so when you go to lift this leg, notice if you're spilling. Often if you're spilling, what's happening is you haven't quite emptied the leg yet. So you have weight in it, and then you're pulling it up, and the body's having to do something funny, versus it's truly empty because you're letting that back leg do it, and it can just lift like a feather. Same thing on this leg. Truly empty. Now, let's go level 3. That's that lift down, the heel touches, shift. Back leg, same knee lift. So it has to come forward and up. And then reach it back, toe touching behind you. Shift back. Knee up. Heel softly touches empty. Shift. Knee up. Reach the toe back. Shift back. Do that twice more. Turn the heat off in here. All right, and as you finish, bring that foot back, take a side step over to your other chair or adjust yourself however you're working it. Empty your inside leg, should be your left foot now out in front with your heel softly touching. Arms relaxed, right? This might make you think that you're helping, right? Some of you kind of stiffen up, but it just makes you top heavy versus leg up. Relax. And then like a rocking chair, just rock and rock. So the foot isn't one sort of, basically it has many places on it, right? So you could be in your heel, you could be in the toes, you could be on the outer foot, you could be on the inner foot. But for our purposes, there's the place called the bubbling well, bubbling spring, just behind. It's basically the ball of the foot, just in front of the arch. So when you shift, feel that point as your connection point to the earth. Same on the way back. Don't let yourself get too far back in the heels. Stay sort of hovering in the arch and that bubbling spring. Right? You don't want to go too much into the toes or too much back into the heels. Now let's go level 2. So that's this empty hip, lift, lower, shift. Back leg empty, just bend the knee, heel to butt, toe down, shift back. Empty hip, lift, lower, shift. Lift, lower, shift back. Espresso cup, comfortable upright body. Challenge yourself more and more to be loose throughout. Loose. At first, that looseness makes you feel like you don't have as much stability, you might say, but over time, that's what makes us actually connect to the ground, right? Let's go level 3. That's knee up, down. Because it's that looseness that allows this leg to move through that whole range with the minimum amount of effort and tension. Eventually, when you got your hydraulic body going, it's almost like there's no tension at all. It's like you're using an entirely different system for movement. Loose. Easy. And all you got to do then is just keep that nice middle. So your middle goes with you. You're just shifting the middle forward. The middle stays there. Foot goes back. You're just shifting that middle back. Now, step together. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the next exercise. Inside leg should be your right leg. Foot goes out in front. Now we shift. Back foot empty. Swing it through. Touch the heel to the ground. Shift. Shift back. Wait for the front foot to be empty. Swing the empty foot behind. Shift back. Do that again. Shift. Swing. Shift. Pause. Shift back. Swing back. Shift back. Pause. One more, level 1. Again, effortless. Can you execute these movements with melting, softening, easing your way through the movement, not tensing? Now, level 2. That front leg lift lower like we did before. Shift. Now here, bring the foot heel to butt and step up and over an imaginary obstacle. Put your heel down. Shift. Heel comes to butt, back down, shift back. And then here it's the foot lifts in front, bend the knee so the foot goes over, reach the toe back, and then shift back. Do it again. Lift, lower, shift. Small obstacles. You can just think, oh, up and over, and then shift. Heel to butt, back down, shift back, up, tuck, and reach, and back. One more level 2. Lift, lower, shift. Up and over, shift. Heel to butt, toe down, shift back. Lift, lower. Now, let's go level 3. So here, lift the knee up, put the heel softly down. Shift, and now we just basically do the most exaggerated step over that you can. So that would be heel to butt, knee comes up, foot goes out in front, and then lower softly, heel touches the ground, shift. Then we also bring this knee up, and then that's the end of the exercise. Going forward, we go back. Reach the toe back, shift back, knee comes up, foot reaches back, find the floor, and shift back. Knee comes up, down, shift. Exaggerated step, shift. Knee comes up, reach back, shift back, reverse, back. Let's do one more, level 3. So again, these are all recorded. I'm recording this class as well, but you know, we're doing this once a week. We're doing a few reps of each of these, but these are things that if you were serious about getting your balance back, you would use the videos and practice them maybe 2-3 times a day for 10-15 minutes, that kind of a thing. Switch sides. All right, so I'm offering tools and resources, but what really makes the difference is when you start finding times in your day for these practices. Heel comes out. All right, we're loose. Level 1, where we stay as close to the ground as possible, the most like regular walking. Teacup on the head, chin is down, crown is up. Rock, step, rock. So it has that rocking chair feel. Rocking chair, swing back, rocking chair. Rock, swing, rock. Rock back, swing back, rock back. Level 2, empty hip. Lift, lower, shift. Small obstacle, so that's like a very low little step over. Shift. Then it's back foot, heel to butt, toe down. Rock back. Now a small obstacle, but it's in front, so we have to go up, tuck, reach back. All right, and then shift back. Lift, lower. Shift, small obstacle, up, over, and shift. Back, and then shift back, up, tuck, reach, shift back. Lift, lower. Now, let's go level 3. Up, down, shift. Heel to butt, knee comes up, foot forward, foot lowers. Shift, knee up, foot reach back, shift back. Knee up in front, tucked foot, reach the foot back, shift back. Up, down, shift. Heel, knee, foot, down, shift. Knee, toe back. Our last one here. And together. Good. Shogun or closing gesture, just to bring everything to stillness. Remember with this one, you let your hands come down. Here's belly button, hands right at that level. And hands come down. All right, now find your runway. So maybe the best runway would be across, where you got your chairs here as two sort of endpoints of the runway, and you have something to support you. And we're going to walk multiple steps forward, multiple steps back. So I'm going to come on this side so you guys can see my feet. Let me tilt this down just a bit. Okay. So now we're at one end of a runway, and empty one foot and put the heel out, touching. So let's do level one. Rock, wait for it to be empty, swing it empty and land the heel. Rock, wait for it, swing, heel, rock, swing, rock, swing, rock. Now we go backwards, be careful. Rock back, wait for it, swing back the empty foot and rock. Swing back an empty foot, rock. Swing, rock. So every time you're getting that rocking chair quality, rather than just watch me do it wrong. Do you notice how I'm committing 100% of me and 100% of me and 100%, so that if I hit a little curve, right, something stuck up in the ground, boom, uh-oh, down I'm going, versus what we're doing here, which is I'm established in my back leg and I'm setting up my landing zone with my toe in the sky, and then I'm shifting. I'm established now in my new leg and I'm going heel with the toe in the sky. Heel, toe in the sky, heel, toe in the sky. All right, and then we're going back, same idea. We're not committing ourselves. We're checking out the ground and shifting. Checking out the ground, shifting. Check it out, shift. And eventually, let's do that there, back twice more. Eventually, it can look very casual, but it's got all the same qualities that we're looking for. It can move fast. You can still move fast and yet be safe. And we're coming back. Now, have that foot out there. Let's do level 2 of this, which is there's a bunch of little obstacles along the way. So we shift. Now we got to go up and over, heel, shift. Now we got to go up and over, heel, up and over, up and over, up and over. When you're ready, reverse. So there's something behind your heel each time that you have to go up and over and set your toe back there. Then you got to shift and establish yourself safely to step an empty foot. Shift back, you got to wait until this is actually empty to safely step it. Otherwise, you're just taking a risk, right? You're just throwing yourself to the wind, hoping that you'll land that foot somewhere safe. Versus if you do it this way, let's go there and back once more. All right? You're guaranteeing, oh, I got to step over that little Lego or that, broken curb or whatever it is. Broken piece of sidewalk, right? So these are just tools in your walking toolkit. And then let's finish with level 3, if you'd like. So be careful with this. This is the one can be dangerous. That's why you want your hand on your chair if needed, but this is where we go all the way with each step. All the way with each step. And we switch. So this one, be very careful. Stay in the standing leg, reach, shift. Stay in the standing leg, reach. All right. And shogun, hand circle, and settle down to the middle of you. Same idea of the walking runway, or the walkway, I guess you'd say. Make your way to the far right side. I'm going to turn around and face you guys, but you can face your chairs so that they're there for safety. Now, fill up your right leg. Inside or left leg should be empty. Step it out and land the whole foot. Step it in, out, in. The left foot should be empty the whole time. Notice that I'm stepping the whole foot, heel included, to the outside and then bringing it in, all the while never changing where my body weight is. It's always going through that right leg. Now, keep the left foot out there. Shift and shift back. So now we're changing to left leg is our full leg, right leg is our full leg. Discerning or separating between which is full, which is empty is the key to safe walking, safe stair climbing, safe and effective movement in general, right? Now, left leg being the full leg, bring right leg in and back out a few times. Notice I'm staying through this left leg now. I'm not going and going and going and going. If you are doing that, please notice it and stop doing it. And maybe step not as wide, but keep this feeling of staying here and stepping there. Last one. Step in. Now this is maybe the most important. Feet very close together, as close as you can. Now your weight was through the left, change it through the right. So now this leg should be empty. And then change it. And the reason this is most important is that it emphasizes down rather than side to side change. It's this down and through to the earth. Down and through to the earth. So that this is empty. Down and through. Now this is empty. Find that little mechanism and do it with easing, releasing, allowing, softening, right? Now, the next time you have your left leg empty, step it out. Shift over to it. Once the right leg is empty, bring it in. Do that little internal change. Now the left leg should be empty again, so we step it out. So now we're moving across the room sideways. Change. Step without shifting. Shift without stepping. Step without shifting, shift without stepping. Now, in, out, we go that way. Change, step in. The goal here is full espresso cup on top of your head, spill it not. Keep it just balanced by this relaxed central axis that you're getting really good at saying, okay, now that leg is the one I'm relying on, and now that leg is the one. And you may notice that I don't have stick legs or stilt legs. I've got these soft, slightly bent Tai Chi legs, and that's this skill of letting that buoyant spring-loadedness be what I rely upon through my legs, rather than a bunch of rigid, held muscles. So soften through. Soften through. And let's go the other way one more time, there and back. Some of you may add, if you can see what I'm doing here, just see if you can kind of add it. So this would be the bear washing paws in the stream, which we do on our Friday class, while sidestepping. So there's now a shift and a turn. I step without shifting, and then I'm shifting and adding a slight turn. Step without shifting, and then shift with a slight turn. Shift with a slight turn. Loose. Loose. Keeping my middle perfectly intact. Let's go back the way we came. Bear wash pause. Bear wash pause. Loose. Arms are like pendulums, just swinging. I'm not holding them up here. I'm not doing something crazy. It's just loose. Easy. And this freedom of the arms without losing my middle. Right? This is a feeling of maybe a more advanced Tai Chi experience. Let's go ahead back to the middle, where there's stepping, there's shifting, there's turning. It's all put together. Let me settle here. And hands come down. Now come between your chairs, standing in about the middle. You got your chairs on either side for support. Pour the weight through this left leg. Now turn the right leg externally. And let's just keep the right leg empty for a moment and turn it back to neutral. Then turn it internally, little pigeon toe. And then neutral. And then turn it out. Neutral. The whole time it's empty and loose. Internal. Neutral. Now let's skip neutral and just go turn out. Turn in. Out. In. So it's the emptiness of this leg that gives it its freedom. Now, the next time we turn it out, let's come back to neutral and do this all on this other leg. So fill the right leg, left leg empty. Turn it out. Neutral. In. And you can see that I'm sort of tapping the ground each time, but I'm not putting my weight in it each time. I'm just tapping, tapping. So I'm picking the foot up and then landing. Pick it up, land it. Pick it up, land it. Now let's skip neutral. Internal, external. And notice there's some sort of secondary movement of the pelvis. Like when you pigeon toe, the hips kind of turn this way. When we turn out, they turn a little that way, and all that's fine. Allow for that just soft adjustment of the body. And let's go neutral. Now change. Here we turn around. So turn right foot out. Shift onto the turned out leg. Turn your pelvis to match it. Bring your left foot to match it as well. Empty the right leg again. Turn the right leg out 90 degrees. Shift onto the right leg. Turn the torso and step. Empty the right leg again. Turn it out empty. So it's sitting there empty. And then feel yourself shift through it. Turn the body and bring the left foot to match. Empty the right leg again, turn the right foot out, shift, turn. Now you should be pretty much back to facing where you started. Let's do that one more time. Right foot, shift, turn. Can you execute this with softness? Right foot empties because you soften through the left. You softly melt through the right leg, let your body arrange with it. Right foot turn out. Shift. How's your teacup doing? How's the espresso cup on the head? Right foot turn out. And we're back to the start. Let's go the other way. Left foot empty, turn it out. Notice it's still empty. Then I'm shifting and turning my body to match it and bringing the right foot there. So the nose and the belly button are all pointing in one direction. When you turn your empty left foot out, don't turn the body with it very much. Then you can turn as you shift and bring it to match. Empty the left foot, turn it out without turning your body at all, really. And then shift and turn and bring the foot to match. Empty the left foot and turn it out. Leave it there for a moment. And then shift and turn and align. Let's go around one more time. Empty and turn it out. Shift and turn and align. Eventually that emptying the left and filling the right can be sort of instantaneous, and the left foot can sort of turn almost at the same time. So eventually that's what starts to happen is you just go, and everything just kind of buttery melts together. Easy peasy. All right, Once you're back facing forward, we empty right leg, pigeon toe. So this little turn in. Now we're going to match everything to the right leg. So shift and rearrange yourself to, you should be a little quarter turn left. Empty the right foot, pigeon toe it or internally rotate it, and then shift. And now you've rearranged another quarter turn. Empty the right foot, a little internal rotation, pigeon toe, and then rearrange yourself. And now you're facing the opposite corner. And again, pigeon toe, rearrange, and we'll go around twice. So to see if you can get this feeling of empty the right foot, internally rotate it, set it up, shift onto it, and arrange everything to match it. And again, pigeon toe and arrange. Pigeon toe and arrange. Got to empty it first. Otherwise, you're just rolling the dice, right? If you're just keeping them both full and forcing it over there, that's very unsafe. If you empty it, set it up, then shift onto it, very safe. Do the other leg, empty left leg, pigeon toe it, set it up, shift, and arrange, orient. Pigeon toe, orient. Keep your arms relaxed. Don't hold on to the shoulders. Don't grab your wrists. Don't hold yourself. Let go of yourself and let it be loose. Go around twice. Feel that chassis in the floor of the pelvis, like a hammock of support between the groin, the hips, the pelvic floor, the lower front abdominals, the sacrum and tail area. That whole area needs to be working together. Next time you're facing forward, stay forward. We're going to turn, just watch me do this one time. Turn out. I shift and turn and pigeon toe. So that when I shift and turn, I'm facing 180 degrees from where I started in just 2 foot movements. And then I'll do it again, turn out, shift, pigeon toe. And then I'm back to where I started. Let's do it together 2 times around. Right foot turns out, shift and turn and pigeon toe. Turn, right foot turns out. And one more time. Carry that teacup around. Trust in the buoyancy of the legs rather than the stilt-like wooden rigidity of the legs. So let yourself sink through the legs. Once you're back to facing forward, after that second round, let's go the other way. Left leg turns out, shift, rotate, pigeon toe the right foot, shift, turn. Left leg turns out. Round again. So just like a plane, if you go to the airport and there's a plane getting ready to take off, they don't just say, we'll hope for the best, right? They do a full maintenance check. They probably, up and down every little bit and piece. So that's what this series is, that if you practiced it regularly, you'd be finding, okay, the turning, the rotating, the forward, the back, the side, right? You're checking all of that in the morning time. And then when you go about your day, perhaps there's a better successful day of movement, right? I'm going to teach a new thing today. So first, let's close this. We're going to finish with a little new thing, which this one is about building power in the legs again. So this term ballistic, this idea that it's like explosive or powerful, right? So watch what I do. So I have my back leg full, my front leg empty, right? And then it's sort of sunk down just a little bit. Notice I'm not sitting like a deep squat, and I'm not pushing my knee forward in a negative way, but I am sunk through the leg in a way that it's like a spring that's been loaded. It's loaded. And then I'm going forward. So I push and I bring this back foot in a little bit and I keep it empty. And the same thing going back, I'm going push. Right? So hands on your safety mechanisms there, your chair and whatnot. But again, this is empty. So what you could think of is there's like a little gap in front of you, a space that there's nothing you could stand on, and you have to sort of launch yourself over it a little bit, right? And what we're looking for is in this leg here that's going to be ballistic. It's a push. So it doesn't come from me grabbing on here and pulling myself. It comes from me gently launching myself from my back leg and then launching myself like a little push off. Push, 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 push. So this is basic boxing footwork. This is basic samurai sword footwork where they advance with the sword out there. This is just basic human movement through space, right? Push. So there's a little bit of a rush. There's a little bit of like a advance from where you were to where you now are. But keep your middle. Keep your middle, right? So what keeps you safe is that you're not tipping your body way back and tipping your body way forward. You're keeping this floating meditation middle and going, using these legs. Now let's switch. So weight goes through your other leg. The other foot is in front, empty. I'll turn sideways for the first few. And we're going from this loaded back leg. I'm carrying this meditating frame. Remember your bubbling spring, that sort of slightly to the front of the arch, ball of the foot. That's where you're connecting to the earth. And you're going heel toe and toe heel, but you're working on connecting through that bubbling spring. And notice how the empty foot, once I launch off of my back foot, it's empty and it comes up and stays empty. Once I launch, this one stays empty. So it's creating ballistic power. And massage groin, hips, around to the sacrum and tail, up onto the lumbar spine. Turn the hands around, get the upper lumbar. And then we do what's called dredging the channels here. Thumbs on the inside of the hip flexor, right? These muscles here on the inside, middle finger on the outside, dredge either side and dredge either side of the shins. And then just let the hands slide on up, come around, rub your sacrum, come around to the front and dredge the channels. Dredge, dredge. Last one. Dredge, dredge. And final shogun closing. And done. Thank you so much, everyone. If there are questions, feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to stop the recording here.